first teaching video. Today I'm going to be talking about Skripka, which is the Russian word for violin. But if we look at the root of the word Skripka, the root of the word is skrip, which means creak or groan, a kind of sound like that. And there's also a word skripet. It means to creak, so it's the verb. If you look at the derivation of the word skripka, it's like the creaky instrument. And if you yourself play the violin, at one point it has made a creaky sound, especially in the beginning. What I want to talk about in this video is how to use that to our advantage to make more articulate playing. And in the beginning of the video you saw the wonderful violinist Semi Stahlhammer playing a very virtuoso piece. When I spoke with Semi and asked him about this concept, which I would like to show you, he called it consonant playing. I learned this a long time ago from Stan Renard, who was one of my teachers. So according to Stan, who's from France, but he studied with a Russian teacher, he said that the first lesson in Russia is actually learning how to creak with a violin. Let's try to make this creaking sound, and then we're going to see how we can use it to our advantage. We're just going to be on the G string for now, and we just use the regular bow hold. This is how I hold the bow. Just trying to feel the weight of our arm, and it all has to do with relaxing the arm and really trying to relax as much as possible, and just keeping the bow on the string. And we're going to pull. We're going to do a down bow or pull bow, and at the same time relaxing. And what happens if you just naturally pull without changing anything? You get that sound. You should get that sound if you don't pull too fast. And that's the creak, that's the skrip. So violin playing, any violinist will tell you the bow is the hard part. And there's two major factors. There's many other factors which go into how the bow works, but two of the main factors I would say are speed and pressure. So what happens if we speed up but we keep the same pressure just with the weight of the arm hanging on? If we do that, but we just increase the speed, and then we get a nice big round sound, is what I call my default sound. So we try that again. And at the tip, distribution of weight is different at the tip, isn't it? So here we do have to kind of push down a little bit, but so the first lesson is just to creak and get that sound. And eventually we can speed it up. So we don't creak as long, and eventually it just should sound like this. In the beginning I called it consonant sound. So if we think about singing, when you sing mostly on the vowels. The consonants are just fleeting, but they're very important. They make it intelligible and precise and articulate. So the same thing with the bow, and it's an interesting analogy, I think, because oftentimes in music we might be trying to emulate the voice, the human voice, which is the most natural instrument, you could say. If you hear a really great musician, you might feel like their instrument is talking to you also. There's obviously times when we're going to want to have a more wispy or gradual. So that has to do with pressure, obviously, but then there's also the bow placement, where we put the bow, if it's farther away from the bridge, closer to the bridge, more angled or more flat. There's also a lot of videos out there which you can check out about different bow articulations, such as collet and martelet. and those involve this, but there's nothing fancy about this technique. It's just simply digging in without pushing. It's a kind of just natural way of making a more articulated sound. But I feel like it's a pretty powerful thing to know and to be aware of and to utilize as you please. There's a Romani band called Taraf de Haiduks from Romania. Their old fiddler had a technique. He takes a piece of the horsehair and loops it around the G string and then pulls on it to produce what I call extreme Skripka. So we're gonna have a look at that now. A good exercise would be just to do the open strings, and this is something I do anytime I have time or make time to warm up. And just counting to 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each string, and getting a little pop in the beginning of each bow stroke. In E string, you could do it 2 or 4 times on each string, going back to the A and the D and the G, and you'll notice that it gets progressively easier to get the skrip sound on the lighter strings. The G string is thicker, you need to dig in a little bit more. To stay relaxed is one of the most important things. If you stay relaxed, your playing will sound more relaxed. Obviously, and also tension can lead to physical problems too, not just problems with the music. So one more part of the warm-up would be to do a scale, and I start the same way like with the open strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do half notes. Quarter notes. So you see I'm doing the 4th finger on the way down just to get some practice with the 4th finger and also the different kinds of bow crossings. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this video about Skripka, and I hope that you're able to use something from the video to your advantage. And I hope to be making more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.